Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. That was a special request from my A3 class, so. Quiet down. Okay guys, I want everybody to go to the bottom of this first sheet. We're actually going to start today with a definition. What we're going to be working on today is writing expressions. So we're going to write mathematical expressions. Today is going to be a whole lot of translation because we're going to translate from English to math and math to English. What we are translating is what we call expressions. But to do that, you need to know what an expression is. Does anybody have an idea of what an expression is? Yes, Micah.
So it could, for example, it could be like 2 times 4, but you don't put the answer, something like that.
Good. He brings up a great point. In an expression, I don't have an equal sign. But he also brought up something else. How many different things how many different numerical values did he have? 2. He had a 2 and an x. He also had a what? What was in between those? An operation. So here's your key on an expression. So it's going to be 2 or more numbers or variables and at least one operation. That's not us yet. Here's the other key though, but no equal sign. As soon as I throw an equal sign in, I now have an equation. So another way to think of an expression is it's basically half of an equation. But it includes 2 or more numbers or variables and at least one operation. That is an expression. Here's the key. If I ask you to write an expression, should I have a single answer? No, because that is not the definition of an expression. So be careful. If I ask you to solve the expression, you can do that as long as you've gotten the numbers. But if I ask you to write an expression, I need to see at least two numbers and an operation. Make sense? So let's talk about the process behind doing this. If you didn't get it written down, copy from a neighbor. We're going to give you an example to work off of and go through the 4 steps that can help you do this translation exercise to go from English to math. Our step 1, and we've been working on this since the start of the year, this is what we call marking the text. We are going to pull out all of the most important words in what is written. So if I have a statement, $8 more than Ryan earned, what are the most important words in there? Alyssa? More than? Any other important words? Remember, I need numbers and variables in an expression, right? On $8. So I now see an operation. I see one number. What would be the other thing that I need? No? Ryan. Ryan is important. Because if I don't know what Ryan earned, could I figure out what's going to be $8 more than that? No. So that's the other piece of information that I need. Micah, please stop. Step 2, and we've worked on this before, choosing a variable for our unknown quantity. So if there's pieces of this that I don't know, we need to identify that and write our variable. When we define our variable, remember, you need to be as specific as possible. So in this case, what is it that I don't know in this sentence? Good. So what variable do you want to use for that? X. So I say X equals the dollars that Ryan earned. Remember to be as specific as possible, because the more specific you are, the better it will be when you get to the end and need to get your answer, because you're going to understand exactly what you're talking about. So X is the dollars that Ryan earned. Step 3, this is our modeling step. It can help us visually understand how to solve the problem. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of models. We're going to walk through it because for some of you it may be very helpful. So we're going to show you the different models for all different operations today. Just get used to those. Again, we don't always have it unless the directions tell you to. But for some of you, you may find this an extremely helpful piece of the process. So if I have $8 more than Ryan earned, how would I model that? More than tells me two things, actually. If you guys remember back to Module 1, we called more than and less than flipping phrases. You guys remember that term? If you don't, get it back in your head because you're going to really need this over the next couple weeks. Flipping phrase. In other words, when I say more than, I'm actually reversing the order because normally we do a translation just as it appears in English. We translate straight from English to math. But when it says more than, that's telling me I have to flip it around. Let me give you an example. If I said that Micah had $25 less than me, but I have $100, could you tell me how much Micah has? Again, let me say it. Everybody listen. Micah has $25 less than me. I have $100. So, in your brain, what did you just do? You subtracted what?
25 from 100.
But when I said it, I said 25 less than me, didn't I? Yeah. So didn't we always talk about I translate directly as it's written in English? We did, but we said there's one exception. That's our flipping phrases. Because if I did 25 minus 100, would I have gotten the correct answer? No. See how instinctively all of you did that mentally. You knew that I had to do 100 minus 25, right? But if you wrote it down, you have to write it that way as well. But I have to flip it because less than is a flipping phrase. Now, more than is also a flipping phrase. It's not as important because we have the commutative property of addition. So if I didn't flip it, I would still get the correct answer. But to do it correct mathematically, we really should pay attention to those details. So more than is a flipping phrase, meaning what comes last, Ryan, should come first in my model. What comes first should come last. So we said R was what Ryan earned. Or no, we said X, sorry. He's the only class that said X. So my model looks like this. Ryan earned X, and I know it's $8 more than that. Now, if you have the model, it should make writing the expression extremely easy. How would I write this model now mathematically? This would be what? X more than X plus 8. Doesn't matter. X is just a variable. We know it's a value. We just don't know what that value is. Does this make sense? You guys understand the process? Okay. We're going to give you a chance to practice this. Here's your helpful hint.
Guys, touch and listen.
Define your variable as fully as possible. The better you define your variable, the easier this will be. So define that variable. That's your step 2, right after you've marked your text and figured out the important words. For right now, don't worry about the models. We haven't shown you guys the models for all of these yet. I will add those in for you. But we do want you to go ahead, read the problem, define your variable, and then write the expression. And then we'll fill the model in a minute. We will give you guys 4 minutes to do 4 problems. You may work as a group. Go. Okay, so let's go through this. Hopefully you guys were able to finish most of them. Our first one, we have 4 points, fewer than the bull score. So what is it I don't know in this situation? JJ? Good. So my variable, I'm going to use X, is the bull score. Now, I told you guys didn't have to have the models because I'm going to show them to you. This is a less than, that means it's subtracting. So my model is going to look like X, and I'm taking 4 away from it. Because it's 4 points fewer than. Fewer than is a flipping phrase, right? So that means that the 4 is being taken away from the both score to be able to answer that. So when I write my expression, it's going to be X minus 4.
Yes, sir.
Our next one, the total cost of a shirt and an $8 pair of socks. This one is a little misleading because total cost kind of sounds like it's something you're solving for, but it's not. That's just telling you the operation I need. So I'm going to find the total cost of something. What am I going to do? Add. So what is it that I don't actually know in this case? Good. So what variable do you want to use for that? What variable do you want to use? X? I like X. I heard someone say S. I would avoid using S because a lot of you guys, your S looks a lot like a 5, which can get very confusing. For those same reasons, I wouldn't use a 0, an O, because it looks like a 0. I wouldn't use a T because that looks like a plus sign for some of you. So there are certain letters I really do encourage you not to use as variables. If you get used to X and Y, it makes it very easy. So X is cost of shirt. And again, as specific as possible, that means in dollars. My model, if I'm adding, what does the addition model look like? JJ? No, they're just side by side. So I have the cost of the shirt and 8. Addition model, I just draw my boxes side by side. So my expression is X plus 8. Our next one, 12 times the number of feet. So what is it I don't know? Lasena? Good. What variable do you want? X? I'm liking this class. We're using all X's. So X equals the number of feet. Our model. You think you know it, JJ? What is it? No. There is no line going up for any model. Ayana? How many? 12 boxes of X's because multiplication is just repeated addition. So, guys, remember, multiplication is just repeated addition. So my model is just all those X's beside each other, which gets to a very important point when we get to writing our expression on this. How do I write the expression? Kaylee? I knew you were the one to call on. That is awesome. Because she just said I have 12 boxes of X in my model, right? Or X boxes of 12. Is there 12s inside of my boxes?
What does the multiplication sign represent, guys? Groups of, right? So
Yeah.
I have X groups of 12.
No, 12 times X.
Guys, this is incorrect. I cannot model that. I can't do that. There's no way you can show me X number of 12s because I don't know what X is. Madison? 12 times X. Remember, if I have a multiplicative algebraic expression, please listen. Please listen. If I have a multiplicative algebraic expression, my coefficient, the number piece, must always come first. Because I can model 12 X's. I cannot model X12s. You have to do it in the correct order. Okay? So that is why that is incorrect. It has to be 12x. Our next one gets a little more interesting because we've got multiple things going on. I have 10 more than 2 times a number. So what is it? I don't know. JJ? Guys, one at a time. If you want to answer, raise your hand. A number. So what variable do you want it for that? I like that. X equals a number. Now, in our model is going to help us understand what's happening, but you need to be careful on this one because this has one of those flipping phrases, more than. So that means the 10 has to come after what's going to come first, 2 times the number. So I have 2 x's at the start of my model. And then the 10 more than that, because it's addition, I just put them all side by side. Now, when I translate my model and translate it into math, how many x's do I have? 2. And what am I doing to the 10? Adding it. 2x plus 10. Is this making sense? Quick thumb meter. Good to bad. Where are we at?
I give it like a 70. I give it like a 60.
Okay, a lot of middles. Guys, let's go to this page. Turn the page. No, we have a lot of people that are in between. We need extra practice on this. Okay, we did a model in the first one for you. I'm going to do a model for the last one as well because we didn't do a division model on the previous page. So, C divided by 3. What this means, I have some number C, which I can represent using a bracket and a box. And I'm doing what to the C? I'm dividing it into 3. So my whole box is my C. It's being divided into 3. Okay? Now, this time we're going the opposite way. I'm giving you the mathematical. You need to use the proper math terms to write this out in words. So there's a lot of different answers that will be correct on this. We will give you an example of the correct ones. There's only 3 problems. I already did half of one for you, so we'll give you guys 2 minutes. Go. 2 minutes. Finish off the... Guys, listen up. Okay, let's go through these answers really quickly. Now, I will say up front, there are several different ways to translate these into English. But I'm going to give you one of them. So just make sure you have one that makes sense. So for this one, I would actually go with just the difference of a number and 4. If you use the phrase less than, it needs to be 4 less than a number. Okay? Can't say V less than 4. That would not be correct. Our model, subtraction models are very simple. I have my variable on the top. I'm taking 4 away from it. That's a 4. Okay, 5W, this one is the product of 5 and a number. Or multiplying a number by 5. Any of these words can work. My model, multiplication is just repeated addition, so I just put all the boxes together. I have 5 of them that all have a W in them. I can't do it with 5 boxes of 5 because I wouldn't know how many boxes to do. That's why the 5 has to come before the W. Our final one, the primary word for division would be quotient. So the quotient of a number and 3. Questions? Fraction does mean division. Okay? Good. Let's go ahead. The bottom half of your page. I'm going to do the first one for you to give you an example to work off of. Then we're going to set you guys free to do the rest of this. Quiet down. So our key words, we have half as many pages as George read. So what is it we don't know? That's what we always need to start with because that's going to be our variable. Good job, Micah. So what variable do you want to use for that?
Let's use G for George.
G for George. So G. Guys, come on now. So the number of pages George read. That would be our definition. Our model, half. What kind of model is that? It's a division model. So I have what George read. That's my G. What am I dividing in? Half means I'm dividing by 2. So I just draw a line of 2 on that one. My algebraic expression, how would I write this?
G divided by 2.
Okay, so G divided by 2. I could also write it as a fraction, G over 2. Either one of those are appropriate. Make sense? Okay, we got 4 problems left on the page. We will give you guys 7 minutes to do the 4 problems. Go. Guys, we got to go quick because I got to get your quizzes back to you as well. Listen up. So because of this, I'm going to have to go through this quickly because I also got to go over your homework real quick. On number 2, this one's a little confusing because they give us the width and the length and then 4 inches. Here's your key, guys. They're basically giving you perspective to understand what you're comparing. The whole piece here, 4 inches less than the length, that is the part that tells me what I don't know. So I don't know the length. So I'm going to use X is length in inches. My model, it's a less than model. So I have my length, and I know that it is 4 inches less than that. So that my expression, X minus 4. Next one, the cost of 5 CDs and a $12 DVD. What is it I don't know? The cost of a CD. And again, be specific in dollars. My model. And means I'm putting them together, but I have 5 of these CDs. So I have 5 X's and the $12 DVD at the end. So my model, or my expression, F5X plus 12. Avocados are double the price of oranges. Be very careful. O is a terrible variable to use because it looks exactly like a 0. So I need my X to be the cost of oranges. They didn't give us a currency, so I can't actually put a currency in here. My model, double means what? Times 2. Multiply by 2. Students sit in groups of 4. So what is it I don't know? The number of students. I do, however, know that whatever I have for my group of students, I'm selecting it into 4. Oh, that's I did X. So whatever it is divided by 4. So there's 2 ways to write it. X over 4, X divided by 4. Let's go over the homework real quick. Turn the page. Guys, seriously, we got 3 minutes left. We got to get through this. On number 6 through 9, there's 2 parts to it. First part, we're defining the variable just like we did on the previous page. Here's the big difference. Part B, they're actually going to tell me what my variable equals, and I'm going to solve it. So if you're confused reading the problem, look at part B. That will tell you what your variable is. Okay? So they gave you a huge hint on this. Turn the page. Yep, you got more. This whole page we want you to do, listen up. This one's not hard. And we didn't make you go through everything. All we want you to do is translate directly to the algebraic expression.
Why does it say A after? Guys, hush!
Because it's telling you what the variable was. Variable's A. The next 2 pages you can cross off. You don't have to do them. Okay, don't do that page. Don't do that page. Go to the last page of your packet. We want you to do number 1. You do not have to do number 2. But notice, on number 1, we need to use the division symbol and as a fraction. So you're writing each of those in 2 ways. So you're actually going to have 8 answers to the 4 questions.